The Green Bay Packers absolutely slaughtered the Minnesota Vikings tonight on Sunday Night Football. This was, once again, another Jordan Love masterclass performance. This dude went off tonight. He had 4 total touchdowns. He had 3 in the first half. This dude was throwing no-foot touchdowns. Like, I've never seen a quarterback throw a touchdown off of his 2 feet. He was making great throw after great throw. This dude was dissecting Brian Flores' defense. And this is way better than what he did the first time these two teams played. And at this point, I'm starting to feel like Jordan Love is going to be the next great Green Bay Packers quarterback, man. For him to have these kinds of performances late in the season is what you expect out of your franchise quarterback. The Green Bay Packers are trying to make a playoff run. They're trying to get into the playoffs, and they're in a situation where they can't afford to lose any game. And right now, Jordan Love is playing his best football of the season. And it's been really fascinating watching the Jordan Love experience this year for the Packers, because at the start of the year, the first 2 games the Packers played, he looked really well. Then he hit a little bit of a cold stretch, and then around Thanksgiving to now, he started to play at a really high level. Did you know that he has 30 total touchdowns, 3 on the ground, 27 through the air, 11 interceptions, and he is completing 62.5% of his passes? The NFL needs to give out a most improved player award, because if we were having rankings for that award, Jordan Love would definitely be the front runner for it. The past couple of years in Green Bay, we didn't know what this dude was. We didn't know if he was good, if he was a bust. In the offseason, there were people who were really skeptical about him. At training camp, he was really inconsistent. And then we finally get to this year. And now that we have a whole year of seeing the Jordan Love experience, I'm going to give him my vote of confidence and stamp him as the franchise QB of Green Bay moving forward for the foreseeable future. It's crazy how this franchise just seems to have the formula for developing and grooming franchise QBs. They went from Brett Favre to Rodgers. Now they go from Rodgers to Jordan Love. I was listening to Chris Collinsworth during this game talk about how Matt LaFleur, the Packers head coach, he had to modify the offense around Jordan Love. It wasn't more so Jordan Love struggling. It was Matt LaFleur having to figure out, how can he best put Jordan Love in situations to thrive? What does Jordan Love do best? And what Jordan Love does at a really high level is throw a really accurate deep ball. Anytime he takes a shot downfield, it's damn near money every single time. He's throwing dots to Romeo Doubs, which he had a dot that he dropped. But then you also got Jordan Reed. You have this other unknown wide receiver who I didn't know anything about going off tonight, Bo Milton. He had 6 receptions for 105 receiving yards in the touchdown. Jordan Love, with the young group of wide receivers that the Packers have around him, there's no telling just what the ceiling is for this dude. For all we know, he could be a top 3, top 5 quarterback next year. Right now, I would take Jordan Love over Trevor Lawrence and Jaylen Herz. That may sound crazy to say, but Jaylen Herz right now, he's been really disappointing based on what we saw from him last year. Jordan Love has a way better body of work than what Jaylen Herz has put on display this season. I know you guys are going to get pissed off about that, but go watch the tape. If you were to give Jordan Love the talent that Jaylen Herz has on the Philadelphia Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith with the top-ranked offensive line, Jordan Love would be dominating right now. The Packers, with them having a young team and a young quarterback, there's always going to be some growing pains and some inconsistencies when you have an overall young offense. But as we have progressed throughout this year, the Packers have gotten better and better because these young players have gotten more comfortable with Jordan Love at the helm at QB. Matt LaFleur has started to figure out more ways to get everybody involved and figuring out what everybody's strengths is and putting them in situations to thrive. And tonight, what was a bigger surprise is that Joe Barry's defense actually played good in this game. The previous week, they got carved up by Bryce Young, and we saw what Bryce Young and the Panthers just did They got their ass beat by the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had a big donut hole on the scoreboard in that game. And I'm a little bit upset that I picked against the Packers to win this game when all week long I had the Packers as a lock to win it. And then 5 minutes before kickoff, my dumb behind goes ahead and chooses Minnesota. My reasoning for picking Minnesota was that, maybe Jordan Love will struggle again. Brian Flores and that defense will be able to get the win for the Vikings. And Jared Hall, I watched this dude a lot when he was playing for BYU. He didn't look too bad the first game that he started in for Minnesota a while ago, but he got knocked out of that game with the injury. I thought that he would have a good performance against a defense that got carved up by Bryce Young, but I was wrong about that. This defense, they were forcing takeaways. They weren't really giving any of the quarterbacks that the Vikings threw out there, because after they got tired of Jaren Hall, they put him on the bench, and then they brought back Nick Mullins, but that didn't really do anything neither. They only got a touchdown out of it. Joe Barry, this dude is the worst defensive coordinator in the NFL. He definitely is going to get fired after this season. But the defense got the job done tonight, and that's what they needed. Overall, the Packers are a really intriguing team. I don't think that if they make the playoffs, they're going to be an easy win for anybody. I wouldn't be surprised if they even end up pulling off a playoff upset. Imagine if Green Bay has to play the Philadelphia Eagles. With the way their defense has looked the last 3 weeks under Matt Patricia, I would take Philly to lose to Green Bay. Honestly, I don't care if they're playing at home or if they would have had to go on the road and beat them at Lambeau Field. The Packers look like a better football team right now than Philadelphia because they actually understand who they are as a team. When you're going into the final week of the regular season, you shouldn't be still trying to figure things out. You got to already know what you are. And Philadelphia doesn't know who they are. Green Bay does, though. And I can't forget about Aaron Jones. Ever since he's come back from that injury, this dude has looked like lightning in a bottle. I used to go back and forth with one of my friends who is a Packers fan, and he says that Aaron Jones isn't really that great of a back. When Aaron Jones is at full strength, he's a top 10 running back. He's really good after contact, has great vision, great contact balance. He's everything that you want in a running back. Plus, he has great hands catching out of the backfield. He had 120 rushing yards tonight, and he was averaging 6 yards per carry. This was a great performance on all sides of the football for the Green Bay Packers, and they crushed the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings' playoff chances are all but over, if they even have any playoff chances.